In the small town of Amityville, on Long Island, New York, there stood a house that would become infamous in the annals of paranormal history. The sprawling Dutch colonial house at 112 Ocean Avenue seemed idyllic, but it hid a dark secret. This is the tale of the Lutz family and the haunting that would forever change their lives. It all started when George and Kathy Lutz, along with their 3 children, moved into their dream home in December 1975. Unbeknownst to them, the house had a sinister past. A year prior, the DeFeo family, the previous occupants, had experienced a gruesome tragedy. Ronald DeFeo Jr. had murdered his parents and 4 siblings in their sleep. Claiming voices in the house drove him to commit the heinous act. Undeterred by the gruesome history, the Lutzes believed they had found the perfect home at a bargain price. However, from the moment they crossed the threshold, an eerie atmosphere enveloped them. Strange odors, unexplained cold spots, and unsettling sounds echoed through the house. George, a pragmatic man, initially dismissed these occurrences as the quirks of an old house settling. Yet, as days turned into nights, the paranormal activity intensified. The Lutzes began waking up at 3:15 a.m., the same time the DeFeo murders had taken place. The haunting reached its zenith when a hidden room was discovered in the basement. A room that seemed to exude malevolence. As George delved into the history of the house, he learned about its dark past and the Native American Shinnecock tribe's warnings about the land's cursed nature. The Lutzes sought the help of a local priest, Father Mancuso, who attempted to bless the house. However, the malevolent force within seemed to defy the sacred rites. Inspiration set in as the Lutz family reached out for help. They sought the assistance of paranormal investigators, hoping to find an explanation or a way to quell the supernatural onslaught. Yet, the entities resisted any attempts to understand. As the days wore on in the Amityville house, the Lutz family found themselves ensnared in a web of increasingly disturbing paranormal phenomena. The once quaint and charming home had become a battleground between the living and the supernatural forces that seemed to feed off the lingering malevolence. George, who initially dismissed the strange occurrences, could no longer ignore the sinister reality. Shadows danced on the walls, ethereal whispers echoed through the halls, and an oppressive energy hung in the air. The children, especially the youngest Missy, claimed to have befriended an imaginary playmate named Jody. But Jody was no ordinary friend. Jody was a demonic entity with glowing red eyes, appearing as a pig with red, glowing. Night after night, the Lutz family endured a barrage of terror. The once welcoming house transformed into a nightmarish landscape. Doors slammed shut on their own, unseen hands touched them in the darkness, and disturbing visions plagued their dreams. George, increasingly consumed by a sense of dread, began waking up every night at 3:15 a.m., the same time as the DeFeo murders. The basement, the epicenter of the paranormal activity, became a forbidden zone. George, compelled by an otherworldly force, felt drawn to the hidden room. Its walls seemed to pulsate with an evil energy, and an overwhelming sense of malevolence emanated from within the room. Now dubbed the Red Room, seemed to exist outside the normal dimensions of the house. Despite their growing unease, the Lutzes chose to stay, convinced that they could overcome the supernatural forces that tormented them. Little did they know that the worst was yet to come, as the malevolent presence in the house had only just begun to reveal its true, terrifying nature. Father Mancuso, the local priest who had previously attempted to bless the house, found himself tormented by the same malevolent forces. The religious artifacts he brought for protection were violently repelled, and he experienced disturbing visions of the Lutz family meeting a gruesome fate. As the days turned into a harrowing ordeal, the Lutzes grappled with their decision to stay in the house. The walls seemed to close in on them, and the malevolent forces intensified their assault. Little did the family know that the horror they faced was not confined to the physical realm, and the ancient evil that lurked within the house had plans that extended beyond the limits of mortal understanding. As the Lutz family clung to their sanity in the face of relentless paranormal torment, the malevolent forces within the Amityville house seemed to revel in their suffering. George and Kathy Lutz, along with their children, continued to endure a nightmarish existence that defied all rational explanation. The Red Room in the basement became the epicenter of the family's terror. George, compelled by an otherworldly force, felt an irresistible pull toward its malevolent aura. The room's walls seemed to throb with a dark energy, and the air within it felt heavy with the weight of ancient malevolence. Strange symbols adorned the walls, etched by unseen hands. The Lutz family's dreams turned into waking nightmares, blurring the line between reality and the supernatural. They reported vivid and disturbing visions of the DeFeo murders, as if they were reliving the tragic events that had stained the house. With the line between the living and the dead blurred, and the Lutzes found themselves caught in a time loop of horror. Jody, the demonic entity who had taken the form of a pig with glowing red eyes, became an ever-present and menacing force. Missy, the youngest Lutz child, claimed that Jody spoke to her and beckoned her to join in dark rituals. The paranormal investigators brought in by the family were baffled by the intensity of the supernatural activity and the sinister entity that seemed to thrive on their fear. The once charming house, with its picturesque facade, now seemed like a malevolent entity in itself, a sentient being that fed off the suffering of those who dared to inhabit its cursed halls. Every creak, every whisper, and every cold draft served as a constant reminder that the Lutz family was not alone. As the horror intensified, George and Kathy began to unravel. Their once solid marriage strained under the weight of the paranormal onslaught. Sleep-deprived and tormented, they struggled to maintain a semblance of normalcy for the sake of their children. Yet the supernatural forces seemed determined to tear their family apart. In their quest for answers, the Lutzes delved deeper into the history of the house. Dark secrets began to emerge. Stories of Native American curses, occult practices, and tales of previous occupants driven to madness. The malevolent force within the Amityville house, it seemed, had been lying in wait for the next family to fall victim to its insidious influence. As the Lutz family teetered on the brink of despair, the malevolent entity within the house continued to escalate its campaign of terror. The line between the living and the dead blurred further, and the dark secret that bound the house and its inhabitants was about to reveal itself in a final, horrifying act. The sinister presence within the Amityville house reached its zenith, pushing the Lutz family to their absolute limits. George and Kathy, along with their children, found themselves caught in a vortex of supernatural chaos that threatened to consume them. As the family grappled with the relentless terror, George's transformation became more alarming. He was often found in the Red Room, muttering incomprehensible phrases, seemingly in a trance. The temperature in the house would fluctuate wildly, and a foul stench, like that of rotting flesh, permeated the air. The very structure of the house seemed to groan and shudder as if it were alive. The demonic entity, Jody, became increasingly aggressive. Missy's interactions with this spectral creature grew more disturbing, and she would often be found talking to empty spaces, her eyes glazed over as if in a trance. The family's nights were plagued by ghastly apparitions and blood-curdling screams that echoed from the walls. In their desperation, the Lutzes reached out to a renowned pair of paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Upon entering the house, the Warrens immediately sensed an overwhelming negative energy. Lorraine, a clairvoyant, was particularly affected. She experienced visions of the house's sordid past, seeing the Native American burial ground upon which it was built, and the suffering of the spirits trapped within its walls. The Warrens conducted a seance to communicate with the spirits haunting the house. During the ritual, a violent storm erupted outside, as if the house itself was resisting their efforts. The medium fell into a deep trance, speaking in a voice that was not her own, revealing the presence of a powerful demonic force that claimed to have control over the house and its inhabitant. As the storm raged, the family experienced the most terrifying night of their ordeal. Unseen forces attacked them, levitating their beds and hurling objects through the air. The children were terrorized by phantom shapes, and Kathy was assaulted by an invisible entity. The house itself seemed to warp and twist, its very foundations groaning under the strain of the supernatural siege. At dawn, exhausted and fearing for their lives, the Lutz family made the harrowing decision to flee the house. They left most of their belongings behind, unable to endure another moment within the cursed walls of 112 Ocean Avenue. In the aftermath, the Amityville house became infamous. The Lutz's story was met with skepticism and disbelief, yet their experience left an indelible mark on the world of paranormal investigation. The house at 112 Ocean Avenue stood as a silent sentinel, its dark windows like watchful eyes guarding the secrets of the terror that unfolded within its walls. The legacy of the Amityville horror lives on, a chilling testament to the unknown forces that lurk in the shadows of our reality. Whether a tale of psychological terror, a series of unexplained supernatural events, or a combination of both, the story of the Lutz family and their 28 days of horror at the Amityville house remains a haunting enigma in the annals of American folklore. In the autumn of 1966, the peaceful town of Point Pleasant, nestled in the hills of West Virginia, would become the stage for one of the most mystifying and enduring legends in American folklore, the legend of the Mothman. It all began on a chilly November night when a group of gravediggers near Clendenin, approximately 90 miles from Point Pleasant, made a discovery that would send ripples of fear through the community. As the men toiled in the graveyard, they spotted a large winged creature soaring above them. Described as man-sized with wings folded against its back, the mysterious entity emitted a high-pitched sound that sent shivers down the spines of the witnesses. The creature's most unnerving feature was its pair of glowing red eyes, which seemed to pierce through the darkness. Terrified, the gravediggers fled the scene, their encounter marking the genesis of the Mothman legend. In the days that followed, Point Pleasant would become a hotbed of strange and unexplained phenomena as the creature, now known as the Mothman, revealed itself to more residents. Eyewitness accounts described a creature with a wingspan of 10 feet, dark in color, and capable of incredible speeds. Its glowing red eyes, often described as hypnotic and otherworldly, left an indelible impression on those who glimpsed the creature. The Mothman was not confined to a single location. Sightings occurred throughout the town and its surroundings, creating a sense of unease and fear among the community. Rumors and speculations about the creature's nature and purpose spread like wildfire. Some believed the Mothman was an omen, a harbinger of doom, while others speculated about extraterrestrial origins or connections to supernatural. The town's residents found themselves caught between curiosity and terror, unsure of what the Mothman heralded for their seemingly ordinary lives. As news of the sighting spread, local law enforcement received numerous reports, and the media began to take an interest. The once quiet town of Point Pleasant was thrust into the national spotlight, forever linked with the mysterious and elusive Mothman. Little did the residents know that the Mothman's enigmatic presence was just the beginning, setting the stage for a series of events that would forever alter the town's destiny. As the Mothman's mysterious presence became more widely known, the town of Point Pleasant found itself engulfed in a wave of fear and fascination. The creature's sightings reached a crescendo, with reports pouring in from various locations, each account painting a picture of a large winged being with glowing red eyes. One of the most significant incidents during this period involved two young couples, Linda and Roger Scarberry, and Mary and Steve Mallette. On the night of November 15, 1966, they were driving near the TNTN area, an old munitions site, when they encountered the Mothman. The creature, described as a large flying man with 10-foot wings, followed their car as they raced in terror towards town. The couples reported the incident to the police, providing a new level of credibility to the growing tales of the Mothman. In the weeks that followed, sightings continued with a disturbing regularity. Witnesses described the creature perched on rooftops near the TNT area and even peering into homes through windows. The Mothman's distinctive feature, its glowing red eyes, captivated those who claimed to have seen it, leaving an indelible mark on their memories. The town became gripped by a sense of mass hysteria, with speculation running rampant. The local media, including the Point Pleasant Register, covered the phenomenon with a mix of skepticism and intrigue, contributing to the growing legend of the Mothman. The mystery of the creature transcended local boundaries, capturing the attention of paranormal researchers and cryptozoologists from far and wide. During this period, the Mothman was not just a creature of the night, but a symbol of the unknown and the unexplained. The residents of Point Pleasant grappled with a heightened sense of fear and curiosity, unsure of what the creature's presence meant for their town. However, just as suddenly as the sightings had peaked, they began to wane. The Mothman's enigmatic appearances became less frequent, leaving the community in a state of uneasy anticipation. Little did they know that a tragic event on the horizon would forever alter the course of the Mothman legend and deepen its connection to the town. As the frequency of Mothman sightings gradually diminished, Point Pleasant found itself on the brink of a tragedy that would forever alter the town's destiny. The eerie calm that followed the height of the Mothman encounters was shattered on the fateful evening of December 15, 1967. That night, the Silver Bridge, a vital link connecting Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, collapsed during rush hour traffic. The catastrophic event resulted in the loss of 46 lives and left the community in shock and mourning. The collapse marked a somber turning point in the Mothman saga, as many witnesses had reported seeing the creature in the vicinity of the bridge in the days leading up to the disaster. The bridge collapse fueled speculation and theories about the Mothman's connection to tragic events. Some believed the creature was a harbinger of doom, while others considered it a warning sign, tying its presence to the impending disaster. The Mothman, once a source of fear and curiosity, became entwined with the collective grief of the town. In the aftermath of the tragedy, Point Pleasant was forever changed. The Mothman sightings, which had once captivated the community, now took on a more ominous significance. The legend of the Mothman evolved into something more complex, encompassing elements of tragedy, loss, and the unexplainable. Journalist John Keel, who had investigated the Mothman sightings and later authored the Mothman prophecies, delved into the aftermath of the bridge collapse. His work explored the eerie synchronicities and paranormal phenomena surrounding the Mothman encounters, contributing to the enduring mystique of the creature. The town of Point Pleasant, while grappling with the trauma of the Silver Bridge collapse, began to embrace the Mothman as part of its identity. In 2002, the first Mothman Festival was inaugurated, an annual event that celebrates the legend through various activities and draws visitors from around the world. The Mothman Museum, established in Point Pleasant, serves as a repository for artifacts, eyewitness accounts, and the ongoing legacy of the creature. The Mothman, once a figure of fear, became a symbol of resilience and community in Point Pleasant. The town found a way to reconcile with its complex history, acknowledging the dark chapters while embracing the enigmatic legend that had become an inseparable part of its narrative. As the years passed, the Mothman's legacy endured, transcending the boundaries of folklore and entering the realms of popular culture and paranormal fascination. The creature's story, born from a series of unexplained encounters, remains a testament to the enduring power of mystery and the human fascination with the unknown. In the wake of the Silver Bridge tragedy, the Mothman legend took on a new dimension, transforming into a modern myth that resonated far beyond the borders of Point Pleasant. The events of the 1960s, once shrouded in fear and uncertainty, became a cultural touchstone, inspiring fascination, speculation, and creative interpretations. As the Mothman story spread beyond the confines of West Virginia, it entered the realms of popular culture, literature, and entertainment. John Keel's book, The Mothman Prophecies, played a pivotal role in shaping the narrative, blending investigative journalism with speculative theories about UFOs, men in black, and other paranormal phenomena. In 2002, Hollywood brought the Mothman to the silver screen with the release of The Mothman Prophecies, a film loosely based on Keel's book. Starring Richard Gere and Laura Linney, the movie introduced the legend to a new generation and added a cinematic layer to the Mothman mystique. While the film took creative liberties, the essence of the Mothman story remained intact. A mysterious creature with glowing red eyes, sightings that preceded a tragic event, and a town caught in the crosshairs of the unexplained. The Mothman, once a local enigma, had become a cultural phenomenon. The town of Point Pleasant, recognizing the enduring appeal of the Mothman legend, embraced its role as the epicenter of the myth. The annual Mothman Festival became a testament to the creature's lasting impact, drawing enthusiasts, researchers, and curious visitors from around the world. The Mothman Museum, with its collection of artifacts and accounts, stood as a living archive of the town's connection to the elusive winged entity. Beyond West Virginia, the Mothman became a symbol of the unknown, a mysterious figure that transcended the boundaries of folklore and reality. Sightings and encounters continued to be reported across the globe, each adding a new layer to the creature's evolving mythology. Cryptozoologists and paranormal investigators explored the Mothman phenomenon, offering a myriad of theories about its origin and nature. Some saw it as a physical creature, possibly an undiscovered species, while others considered it a paranormal entity or an extraterrestrial visitor. The Mothman, with its glowing red eyes and foreboding presence, remained firmly entrenched in the human imagination. Its legacy, a blend of fact and fiction, tragedy and myth, continued to captivate those drawn to the mysterious and the unexplained. In the annals of modern folklore, the Mothman stands as a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown, a creature that emerged from the shadows of Point Pleasant to become a symbol of both fear and fascination, leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of American mythology. The legend of the Mothman, born from a series of mysterious encounters in the 1960s, has etched itself into the fabric of American folklore. Its story is one of enigma, tragedy, and the enduring fascination with the unknown. As the years have passed, the Mothman has transcended its origins, evolving into a symbol that resonates with those captivated by mysteries that linger just beyond the edge of understanding. Point Pleasant, the town forever linked to the Mothman, has embraced the legacy of the creature. The annual Mothman Festival continues to draw crowds, uniting enthusiasts, researchers, and curious onlookers in a celebration of the unexplained. The Mothman Museum stands as a testament to the enduring impact of the creature, housing artifacts, eyewitness accounts, and the ongoing fascination with the winged enigma. The Mothman, once a local phenomenon, has become a global symbol, a modern myth that sparks the imagination and invites contemplation of the mysterious forces that weave through our world. Sightings continue to be reported, both in the United States and across the globe, perpetuating the allure of the creature and adding new chapters to its ongoing narrative. Theories about the Mothman's nature persist, ranging from the fantastical to the pragmatic. Some see it as a harbinger of doom, others as a guardian spirit, and still others as an undiscovered species or a manifestation of the supernatural. The ambiguity surrounding the Mothman is part of its enduring appeal. It invites speculation, wonder, and a sense of awe that transcends the limitations of conventional understanding. As the Mothman story echoes through the corridors of popular culture, literature, and paranormal investigation, it becomes a reflection of humanity's enduring quest for meaning in the face of the unknown. The creature, with its glowing red eyes and elusive presence, embodies the mysteries that persist on the periphery of our understanding. A reminder that, even in the age of information, there are realms of existence that elude explanation. The Mothman, with its eternal mystery, challenges us to embrace the unknown, to question the boundaries of our understanding, and to acknowledge the possibility that, in the shadows of our perception, enigmas may exist that defy easy categorization. And so, the legend of the Mothman endures, a timeless and enigmatic presence that continues to captivate the imagination, leaving us to ponder the mysteries that dwell at the edges of our comprehension. In the heart of Point Pleasant and beyond, the glow of its red eyes remains an eternal beacon, drawing those who seek to unravel the secrets of the unexplained.